Hello and welcome and welcome and hello and welcome and hello. Thank you for joining me on this very special edition of Un Poco Mas. You see it right here, the show where we give you just a little bit more. Today we want to talk, of course, about super micro computer stock, SMCI is the ticker symbol there, guys. I'm going to make this one super quick. I know the vast majority of my audience has super micro portfolios, also super micro wings. So you guys can mostly relate to this stock, this ticker. Um, what's happening? Okay. We hear doom and gloom. We hear delisting. We hear, the books are cooked. We hear Hindenburg. We hear the auditor quit, but we don't know exactly why. They simply don't trust management, won't sign off on their financials, don't trust the veracity of their conclusions, their numbers. So what are we left with? We're left with a company, more questions than answers. But what do we know for sure? We know this company is growing their sales very rapidly. We know they're in the right place at the right time in terms of being in a sector, these AI data centers where the demand is just exploding. We know, I think they're NVIDIA's second or third largest customer, something like that. I know it's like Meta is right up there, and then there's one or two others, but Supermicro is basically at the top of the heap in terms of a cost-effective solution, the greatest density you can get with these NVIDIA processors in terms of their new liquid-cooled solutions, their racks, whatever. I'm not a technical expert, guys, but all I know is the problems they detail in the short report and the problems probably, surrounding the resignation of their auditor. These are, this is a mom and pop operation. It's basically a family run company out of San Jose that, grew very rapidly as this AI exploded more or less by happenstance. Like I said, I think they were basically in the right place at the right time. They played it quite well. They have good products. They actually do have unique products or software that runs within their racks. All these things are not completely the same, but mostly what it comes down to is cost, density, reliability, and from what everyone's saying, including J.P. Morgan, who just cut the price target of this stock, like in half, they're saying the orders are not going anywhere. Thus far, the customers are not going anywhere. Now, there's a lot of speculation that they will because people don't want to be associated with their financial statements. Or I don't think if you buy servers or you have somebody install a data center that necessarily associates you with their any accounting irregularities. The fact their products are real. Their installs are real, their customers are real, they're very satisfied. Everybody from Nvidia, Tesla, many others are super micro customers, all the household names. So I'm looking at what I hear versus what I see. What I hear is that the stock is going to crash down to 12. It would have just kept going. What I see is that there are no sellers of this stock under 31, and market makers, while they're telling you, the sky is falling, let's all dump, they're buying all the shares. That's what they're doing. When this thing fell from 48, where did it stop? Where did the algo start buying? Right on this line, 32. And then when it came up, it popped up past 32, stalled out at 38, fell down big time. Where did it stop? Retest. 32. Gaps back up, comes all the way back down, and now it's been consolidating along this line for 6 days. This is the only place it's consolidated at all. I don't think it's going lower. Look at what also happened here. Besides this initial one candle, this huge drop, look where the volume is, guys. Just read the tea leaves. It's not that hard. The big candles are green. It's accumulation. The small candles are red. Look at the red versus green. It's just that simple. Look at the top. Even at the top, where it's starting to reverse, the candles get smaller and smaller and smaller. And only do we see a bigger candle here once it's green. They're accumulating, folks. This is a complete shakedown, fugazi, crystal meth-induced psychosis nonsense. And once they do get all the shares they want from retail at 31 and 32, they are going to completely turn this narrative on its head. They're going to say everything was no big deal. The 70% top line growth we're expecting this year from the 110% top line growth we saw last year demands a premium valuation. Everybody will re-rate it. The market makers exactly when they want, or run this thing back up to 60 or 80 or 100 or whatever they want to do. And we're going to be, those retail that got washed out at 31 believing this is not what a crash looks like. Crash, big accelerating red candles continuing to fall. This bottomed out here as the volume fell down to nothing here. Look at these volumes. 44 million, then you start buying again. Volume goes up to 198 million, 235 million on the ascent. I mean, it really is that simple. And look at sort of the retracement. Look at the Fibonacci, whatever you want to call it. I mean, the stock fell down to 17. It tripled on a pump, but the most it was ever really trading at was low 40s. It pumped almost to 50. Okay, so the high is 48. But that was just a complete Fugazi. So that's a triple, right? From 17 almost. And where it's consolidating is doubling off the lows. Whatever they're paying you, go ahead and double it. What's this stock poised to do when volume picks way back up? Why did it hold up so well today? I mean, they started to return a ton of shares. See this? They had returned 7 million shares. And then when the stock started to go up, they just started borrowing millions and more shares. So looks like 3 million return on the day. Cost to borrow creeping up, but still very, very low on the day. Volume is only, I think, around 25 million. So that's absurdly low. Guys, check these filings. What's going on here? First off, Susquehanna, their last shares 30 million. I think that's not split adjusted, but I think this is just feedback from the split. Am I wrong about this, guys? Because you have all these increases. They're all about the same. So I think this was a 9-for-1 or something, this split, and this is just all gibberish. But all I can do is look at the totality of the circumstances and then look at the narrative. Look at where Hindenburg is involved. Look at what they're alleging. Even what they're alleging does not go to the core of this business. I'm sorry with this stock, but I say the same things over and over. Just because I can just see this pattern, the writing on the wall. I've seen it so many times. They're attacking this company, but what they don't say is, hey, the orders are fake. The growth is fake. The customers are all a fraud. They're made up. These revenues aren't there. What they're saying is there's improper recognition of revenues. There's improper accounting controls. There's not enough lawyers. Those lawyers weren't doing their job. Those lawyers had dual roles. The executives were not constrained by the legal and compliance departments properly. And those are huge problems. But those are not going to the core. Going to the core of the business would say, hey, it's a big fraud because they're saying their demand is increasing, but they faked a bunch of orders. Nobody's saying anything like that. So if they recognize revenues improperly going forward and they had to take a write down in one quarter, those revenues would be recognized properly in the next quarter. So I don't think there's going to be any type of huge black swan event. I don't think there's some, big shoe to drop here. I think it's just, the executives are shady. They play fast and loose with the rules. They don't think the rules apply to them. They don't listen to the people who they think are beneath them. The lawyers, the auditors. It's an arrogance. Why would you want to throw away and piss on your own, company that you own so much of with your family? Why would they want to crash their own fortune? It just doesn't make sense. You have to listen to the new auditor. You have to put your ego in check. You have a duty to the shareholders. You have a duty to Danny. Think about your Danny duty. So yeah, guys, I just want you guys, just look at the chart. Please. Look at what they did. It's the same thing every single day. This big pop, and then it turns into a sell-off. The problem is, right here at 31.60, it stopped selling off and it started going up. And if you look at the periods where this is the same every single day, guys. Look at where all the volume is. That's where the stock is going up. This thing starts out, 31.75, immediately pops up to 32.60. And there's a ton of volume right there. Then it just drops off on like 4 candles, very low volume relatively, all the way back down. You see more volume come in. All the volume goes away during the descent. This is pretty low here too, and then you just see volume start to come back in again, few green candles. But it's the same chart every single day, guys. It pops in the morning, dramatic sell-off, downward 4-degree, 3-degree bubble, accumulate. It looks like a sell-off. That's not what a sell-off looks like. These big, huge green candles at the end of the day, huge green candles at the beginning of the day, then the algo churning this thing. I don't know, guys. I don't know how much more I can whine about this stock. Pardon me. I've accumulated a lot of shares. I'm not doing, calls on this thing anymore because I don't know when they're going to turn it. I don't know when the news is going to come. I don't think they're going to wait till the end of February to file their financials. I mean, all the numbers were done. Management turned in what they were going to turn in, whatever dumpster fire they signed their name to that Ernst & Young couldn't get behind. Couldn't quite coach up that turd. But even I'm looking at it like, okay, they took revenues from 3 to 5 to 7 to 14.5 for 110% top line growth in 1 year, year on year. The last year they reported, and Ernst & Young did sign off on that increase. They've only been their auditor for like a year and a half until they abruptly resigned. For, reasons that we can only speculate, but none of them are good. Some of them would be horrible, horrific. Some of them would just be sort of, slap on the wrist kind of thing. So we just don't know. And that's the whole thing. That's why it's really impossible for Mr. Market to put a value on this thing. But they've been able to do it. 31 to 33. They'll buy the hell out of the thing. I mean, obviously, with this low volume, they could have pushed down if they wanted, but shorts don't have the minerals. They don't want to short this thing under 30. They could easily push down. Easily. The cost to borrow's negative a lot of days. Wouldn't even cost them anything to push down. Problem is, their buddies down the hall, I mean, with a wink and a nudge, they know this stock's still worth 60, 70, 80, 100 plus. I mean, where do you find these pure AI plays growing the top line 100, then 70% that are already profitable and then just trading at, much, much less of a multiple than their peers in the same space that aren't growing nearly as fast, if at all? I mean, it is what it is. If you just cut through all the narrative, all the emotion, all the panic, all the short reports, and you just look at the numbers that have been audited. Look at the numbers that management, gave you in the update. It says, they're going to do about 6 billion, whatever it is. I mean, they were just doing 6 billion a year 2 years ago. Now they're doing that per quarter. Cut through the bullshit. Look at the numbers. How bad can it be? How much could they be faking? How much could they have to restate when they're saying we don't have to restate anything? We think Ernst & Young, just had a bad day, bad hair day. Had a bee in their bonnet. Obviously, that's not true. I mean, there are issues. But I think given everything management said, the special committee has said, I just don't think it can be nearly as bad as the narrative that they're painting. And then their actions, belie the bullshit. It's like market makers are saying, and the media say, oh, watch out for 12. You see all these U-turders, all these, turd blossoms in the, blogosphere. Oh, I'll buy at 12. I'll buy at 15. I mean, at the worst, the thing crashed to 17 on an absolute, panic. And then everybody's stepping in and buying at 31. Why would you believe them when they tell you it's going to 12 or 15 or whatever when they're sitting there buying all the shares at 32? Think about it. Think about it. I don't know, guys. I don't get it. I just, where's the risk here? Okay, the worst case scenario. They BDO can't sign off, which is, I think, is highly unlikely. All you have to do is tell the truth. It's not the crime, it's the cover up. You stupid motherfuckers. Get out of your own way. Put your ego in check and enjoy your billions. If I had billions of dollars, I think I'd be trifling over some little, accounting issues, arguing with Ernst & Young. So, you know what? We were wrong here. Let's get this straight. Be humble. Sit down. Oh, God, I hate you guys. I hate you guys. I hate you guys with a passion. Oh, God, I just went off the rails. Not a Lurker is not monitoring the broadcast. They have not had time. Not a Lurker is still in the comments. Not a Lurker can do more while driving and running some type of high-tech logistics company by himself than most of you assholes can do in your entire lifetime. Shout out to Not a Lurker. I don't know if Alberto Berti Avalos is here, but if he is, or if he isn't, shout out to Alberto Berti Avalos, our other moderator. But yeah, J Money. He's out on the highways and byways, making his way, taking care of the fam, taking care of the country, making sure your freight reaches destination. Let's see, guys. Welcome and hello. We got Andrew Oberek. I'm the only one watching. Yes, you are, Andrew. Lucky you. We got Clap My Dog. Yep. Everybody's getting tap water for Christmas, guys. I'm out of water. We got Kel Travels. Can't break 33. Retest. No, Kel. No. Why would it need... It's retested 31. Look at the chart, Kel. Just look at it. Look at it. No. So came up, retested already here. See, this is where it dropped to initially. Huge gap down, stopped right there. Same level it is right now. So it's already retested. It's consolidated down here for 6 days. It's not going to retest 18. Now, if we get some huge bad news, yes. But, I think the next two catalysts are positive. You're hiring executives and you're coming out with your financials. Now, if those financials are horrible restatements, yeah, it's going to flush. You're right. It's going to flush. Kel is waiting for 20. Okay. Set your watch. I'll be buying there with you, Kel. SCMI will be blamed for the Ukraine-Russia war, global warming. I mean, hey, they're shipping all the chips to China. It's all their fault. You have barons writing these random hit pieces about how the CEO's foundation didn't plant enough trees and some 20-year-old deal. I mean, I've never seen anything like that. They're pulling out all the stops. 18.5. I don't know. I don't know what chart you're looking at, but what your thinking is on that. But yeah, I don't see it. See that most recent article, the bearish one? I went over that one yesterday, if that's what you're talking about, Marco. Yeah, I did see it. I don't have Seeking Alpha pulled up right now, but I do tend to look at it. SMCI CEO used American accounting practices. The company just grew too quickly. Yeah, no, I'm not saying he's a bad man. I just think he doesn't listen to people. I think he's probably a little bit arrogant. I mean, I'm not saying he's a bad guy at all. I don't know. I don't know the guy. Don't sub and like. Guess it's me, the only one accumulating. I'm the one accumulating. Agree. Willing out in February, and the shorts will be demolished. Who's buying at 32? Kel, everyone seems to be buying at 32. Smart Money is buying at 32. What happens if the BDO drops out? They either have to find somebody to sign off or they're going to be delisted. And it has to be somebody that the NASDAQ is going to accept. So, but if you know anything about BDO, I don't think they're gonna. I think they're gonna be able to come to a meeting of the minds at some, because it's not really BDO dropping out. That's not really what an audit is. Like, an audit is not to prove the numbers are good or bad. It's just to, essentially certify the numbers are true. It's to check management's work, make sure they're telling the truth, or at least things sort of add up. So the auditor is not really, defining the performance of the company. It's management who's going to have to change. The auditor's saying, this is what you should have done. This is what you did wrong. You have to restate this, period, for us to sign off. And then the ball will be in management's court to either accept what BDO is telling them so that they can get the financials signed off on and move on with our lives, or they're going to be obstinate and get delisted and start trading OTC and probably end up taking the company private with some hedge fund. And we'll probably get, bent over a barrel, take a nice haircut. Oh, you want the young Starbuck or the old Starbuck? Like, stop messing around, Bobby. Anyway, so yeah, I think it is unthinkable that management would be so recalcitrant. What's the word? Stubborn, foolish, asinine. I don't know. But they have to see this is their money here. I mean, maybe management wanted to accumulate low, but they own enough shares already. I don't think they want to accumulate at 18. I don't know. But anyway, Kel, if it goes to 18, I'll be buying with you. PDF file exposer. I'm an SMCI shareholder. I feel great. Well, there you go. Margin Call Mike is loading his boats, and he has a flotilla, does Margin Call Mike. Oleg Alexandrov loves the show. Thank you, Oleg. See your little Christmas tree there. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever you guys celebrate. Hopefully it is a wonderful holiday season. Best health and happiness, health, happiness, success for all of you guys. Just wishing all of you guys the best. Not just with stocks, but just, life in general. It's crazy world out there, but hopefully the holiday season we can, still pop a few less pills, maybe a few less glasses of rot gut. Maybe for you ladies, a few less boxes of wine. Hey, I'm a realtor. My job in real estate requires me to drink 6 bottles of wine per day. Are you sure? Oh, yes, it was in the manual. Along with these pantsuits. Hello and welcome and welcome and hello. Let me see who this is, guys. One moment. Hello and welcome, welcome and hello. Who do we have on the bat phone?
Is this Danny Deals?
This is Danny Deals.
I just wanted to say Merry Christmas Eve and Merry Christmas to everybody out there. And to say thank you to Danny Deals for his... That's it.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
All right.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Bye-bye.
Peace. Guys, the great Not a Lurker checking in from his road trip. The great Not a Lurker. So anyway, that was about all I had again. Let me go through just a few more of the comments. Say welcome and hello. Yes, Kel, I do remember that. 33, you're absolutely right. Was some pretty stout resistance. There's no doubt. I mean, it could break the other way, Kel. It could break to the downside. The only reason I don't see that happening is because when the stock's going down, there's just not a lot of volume. It just feels fake to me. It doesn't feel like retail wants to dump their shares under 30. Nobody's selling under any shares under 31. For the last month, nobody's sold any shares under 31. and they're telling you it's going to 12 or 15 or whatever. So, I don't know. I'm just not buying it, guys. I'm just not buying it. Today, the stock looked extremely strong, like it was poised to make a move up. Maximum pain is 34.50. So again, options, looking for the stock to move up. Media, market makers telling you stock is crashing. Reality, stock is not crashing. So you just have to add up the puzzle. It looks like market makers want to accumulate all the shares they can, low 30s, and then turn and run it up. That's what it looks like to me. But I'm generally wrong. That's true, Kel. That's obviously the huge danger. Sorry, I'm going through your comments. You probably said this a while ago, but yeah, of course. If the numbers are completely wrong and it's not like some marginal, problems, it's, substantive fraud, and there's a bunch of fraud in the numbers, it's game over. You're right. I mean, it's going to crash way below 18. It's going to get delisted. People are going to go to prison, so that's a whole nother story. Let's see. They need to agree, make an adjustment, short-term pain to the moon. SMCI 240 2025. We were saying they're exploring Everclear, maybe go. Yeah, see, that's not what the rumors were saying, actually, Kel. The rumor was that they were doing a money raise, they were doing a pipe. It wasn't that they were going private, but those were completely unsubstantiated. The company said no comment. I think Evercore said no comment, which doesn't mean it's not true, but they're one of those companies everybody raises money with. So just having discussions at some point does not mean that there's a dilutive pipe, whether it's a convertible or equity. Danny, before no more repeating twice if you're held by now. No, he's not holding me hostage, you guys. I think he's, visiting his kids at school. So, yeah, there's no, let's see, back right now, what does the pipe do for shareholders? Well, what a pipe would do is it would give the company money and it would dilute the shareholders, Kel. That's essentially, whether it's equity or a convertible, you get, either way, it's dilution now or dilution later, and you get cash, so it's basically a dilutive money raise. But no skin in the game. Thanks, Billy Jack. I appreciate it. Yeah, this is one of those ones. It could go either way. You're either going to make a lot of money or it's just going to crash hard. So it's high risk, high reward. One of those sort of gambling momentum plays, whatever you want to call it. But I like those plays where it crashes and it's perceived as gambling. It's perceived that there's, the company's just on the ropes, when in fact, the company's growing rapidly and their numbers to me look extremely healthy, and they shouldn't have a big problem raising money. And they need money because they're on the cusp of a rapid expansion. I don't get it. I don't see what they see. I don't think they see what they see. I think they're just saying it because it's all part of a Fugazi scam to buy as many shares as they can, first down below 30 and now just above 30 because that's as cheap as they can get them. That's my theory, guys. Oh yeah. Yeah. No, if they announce they're going to put out the financials by the end of February for sure. If there's no, big restatements and the numbers are basically what management's already told you they are, the stock should go way, way up. It's absurdly undervalued. Yeah, and that's, you've already made the point, Kel. If the numbers are true, then if the numbers are true, it's, dramatically undervalued. But how do we know if the numbers are true when the auditor quit? And management has a history of fraud and fudging and being delisted and everything else, getting fined. But, the fine wasn't that big. No one has ever accused this company of making up orders, committing these sort of frauds that you see like an Enron or MCI or whatever. That's not what they were accused of. Improper controls, fast and loose with the rules, maybe improper recognition of some revenues more forward than they should have been. But the fact is, guys, this is a company that is growing rapidly, that is undervalued, and if they're able to get past all this turmoil, the stock price is going to go way back up over 100 again. And I think even if they get delisted, I still think it's undervalued. Just because something trades over the counter and the controls are off doesn't mean it becomes worthless. I mean, I think they could make just as much profit being on the NASDAQ or not being on the NASDAQ. It's going to be some possibly temporary pain. But the reason I don't like that is because I just see it as a precursor to being taken private. You have a lot less rules when you're not on a major not on a major stock exchange. Excuse me. I was trying to search for that. I keep wanting to say index. It's not an index. The index, NASDAQ 100, exchange, NASDAQ overall. So anyway, guys, let's see. Is it Friday? Anyone buying Joby? I haven't bought it. Let's see. Where's Tevis? More forward, like some minor stuff. Yeah, I feel like it's like Kel a little bit more than, minor and significant. Like there are some substantive issues, but I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, they're like 3 to 4. I don't think they're 1s and 2s, but I don't think it's like 7s and 8s, which would be like super problematic delisting stuff. I think like 3s. Like, hey, you did some stuff wrong. We could definitely identify it, but it's not something that's, goes to the core of the business. It's not the products are bad. It's not the customers don't. This is stuff the customers never even see. This is legal stuff. This is compliance stuff. This is stuff between the auditors, the lawyers, the accountants, and the executives need to get out of the way and let these guys do their jobs. And if they do that, we're going to be just fine. And when I say we, I mean this company, because obviously I have no role other than being a total fat pumper turd. Anyway, guys, I want to thank Nautilurk. I want to thank Alberto Berti Avalez. Would like to thank all of you for watching. I appreciate it. It's Un Poco Mas. The stock is SMCI Super Micro Computer Incorporated. It is I don't know. It's up on the day. Let's see what's happening just after hours really quick. So up 4 cents after hours, 32.44. But remember, this was holding above 30. A lot of times you manipulate the starting line and it looks like the stock goes up. You're like, woohoo, stock's up to $32. And you're like, well, it should be 60 or 70. So anyway, guys, peace. I'm out.